Hello everyone, this is Adam Meister of VoteMD.info. It is time for another Baltimore political video, and this time it's going to be a little bit longer. I have some notes written down. This is the previous video I made about Joan Pratt. Got a lot of views, and that's because of the Baltimore election 2016 Facebook group that I think all of you should join. Interesting discussions going on there. The link is below this video. The previous video, as I said, has got a lot of attention, and quite a few people didn't like my tone in that video, and they tried to ignore the message because of that, and kind of discouraged me from making any more videos. But no, it's only encouraged me to make more videos here, and it's been inspirational. And so following this video, there are going to be at least 4 other videos that are going to be dealing with Joan Pratt also, where I'm going to directly call out specific candidates running for mayor and ask them to tell the voters if they support Joan Pratt and her 21-year record as Comptroller of Baltimore. A few people have claimed that no candidate for mayor will answer my questions because Pratt is powerful, or they don't want to offend potential voters. And on the surface, this might seem kind of logical. But if your name is not Pugh and your name is not Dixon, I believe it is very logical to take an anti-Joan Pratt stand. And it could be quite helpful. Remember that Pratt is not going to get 100% of the vote for the comptroller's race. There's just no way. She may get something like 80%, maybe even less than that. So let's say that 20% of the people that are not going to vote for Pratt, and that those 20% of the people probably aren't going to vote for Pugh or Dixon either on the mayoral side. So if one of the other 4 major candidates is smart and appeals to this large block of voters, perhaps 20% of the voters out there, they could earn a huge chunk of their vote. And this is going to be a very tight race for mayor. So, I mean, the winner of the race for mayor might only get like 25% of the entire vote. So this is not a political risk. This is in fact, it's quite logical if you look at those numbers. If 20% of the people don't like Pratt, then straight up appeal to those people, because no one is going out there appealing to them. So anyway, I want to remind you all of this little quote, this anonymous quote. Having an empty seat in the comptroller's office is incredibly beneficial when your goal is to hide things. Think about that for a little bit now. So, I mean, if you're some corrupt mayor, you want to do nothing comptroller. How can a person ethically support a candidate who supports Joan Pratt? I mean, for years, people have asked, why doesn't X have funding? What happened to the X million dollars that went missing? And Joan Pratt has sat there. Have there been audits? Who has been looking after the money for 21 years for the city of Baltimore? It's her job. How can any candidate for mayor accept this situation? Continue this status quo, because the status quo is terrifying. I won't make any videos that are going to directly address Dixon or Pugh and ask them what they think of Joan Pratt, because it goes back to ethics yet again. Dixon's freaking boyfriend, was a major developer in Baltimore, getting all sorts of deals thanks to the Board of Estimates, which Joan Pratt also sat on. They were on the Board of Estimates together for about 6 years, I think. Did Pratt ever speak up about this clear conflict of interest with Sheila Dixon? Did she ever use her position of power to call Dixon out? Or did she just go with the flow and continue to reward the politically connected? Here's a little quote from when Dixon left office. When she delivered her speech, she was flanked by by Baltimore Senator Lisa A. Gladden and City Comptroller Joan Pratt and other city lawmakers in the room, all Democrats, included Senator Nathaniel J. McFadden and Delegate Curtis S. Anderson. Mayor Dixon has been very passionate about the mayoral position, Pratt said. She loves Baltimore and its citizens. She is a hard worker. I believe that the mayor has set a lot of things in place that have been working well for the city. Okay, I want change. I'm back to me talking now, okay? Any person who wants real change can't support a woman who has been silent in office since 1995. She is supposed to be looking after the city's finances, not looking out for boyfriends of mayors or other campaign contributors. The so-called change candidates are going to appear hypocritical if they remain silent about Joan Pratt and the last 21 years of financial management in Baltimore. Catherine Pugh owns a clothing store in Pigtown with Joan Pratt. This is real. I'm not making this up. Do you think she's going to speak up about the last 21 years of financial issues in Baltimore? I mean, she clearly approves of the woman if they own a business together. I mean, come on. It's a waste of time. Does anyone remember 1995 at all when Julius Henson helped Pratt win the office of Comptroller? Yes, Julius Henson of the 2010 Bob Ehrlich Relax robocall. I'll get back to him at the end of this video, by the way, old Julius Henson. Stephanie Rawlings Blake, we haven't heard her name for a while. She decided not to run for mayor. She knew she had no chance after what happened a year ago. Can you imagine any current candidates saying they approve of the way things were going under Stephanie Rawlings Blake? And that we just need to keep things the way they were? Of course not. Yet there are candidates out there for mayor who are not only totally satisfied with Joan Pratt's last year in office, but her last 21 years in office. So by now, all of you know that Joan Pratt's 21-year reign has been a financial disaster for Baltimore. I mean, you've lived through it. The only way the rest of the voters will learn this is if a mayoral candidate stands up and states that they don't support Joan Pratt. It's that simple. The only way that's going to happen is if you publicly ask Mosby, Stokes, Embry, and Warnick if they support Joan Pratt. Straight up ask them. I'm going to ask them on YouTube. Follow my lead. I'm going to do it. I'm not just talking a talk. I'm walking a walk. Get them to tweet out what they think about Joan Pratt, if they approve. Because on the Facebook group that I alluded to before, Sun writer Luke Broadwater said that he covers stories when major candidates call out one another on Twitter. Yes, he said that. You can look it up on the Facebook group, the Baltimore 2016 election Facebook group. So obviously, even if you can get DeRay to call out Pratt on Twitter, because he's a big fan of Twitter and everything, it will get the attention of Luke, and Luke will write about it in the Baltimore Sun. So, DeRay's Twitter thing will help us all in that regard. So anyway, I want to leave you with a little quote that I found on the amazing internet from a story by Mike LITTWIN in the Baltimore Sun from March 29th, 1996. That's almost exactly 20 years ago. This is what Mr. LITTWIN had to say. It's no mystery why Baltimore Comptroller Joan Pratt gave Julius Henson her wink-wink confidant and campaign manager / travel companion a $79,900 a year job managing the city's multi-billion-dollar real estate holdings. Cloris Leachman put it best in Young Frankenstein. He was my boyfriend. If Pratt had a hand to the Bible, I'm guessing she'd have to say the same today. Many people are upset about this appointment, especially since it is widely believed that Henson has no apparent qualifications for the job other than a winning smile. Oh, and some crummy rental properties he owns, some of which Pratt and Henson used to own together. Actually, as it turns out, Henson was the most qualified person Pratt interviewed for the job. Unfortunately, as it turns out, he was the only person she interviewed for the job. Oh, does anybody remember those days? 1996? Does anybody remember what? I mean, that's Joan Pratt. Do you support that? I'm Adam Meister C.